Perhaps just take a second. Double check. I mean, this may not be super relevant, but we'll just see how people are doing from an equipment standpoint. Shepard looks fine. Hayden, on the other hand, is competing for much the same gear. And, well, from pistol standpoint, I'm afraid we don't really have anything good for you. We did actually recently pick up some new biotic amps. And, yeah, these ones are at least slightly better than what Caden's currently using. It is 3 levels higher of the same exact type of amp, so gives them better tech cooldown. Oh, this is Omni Tool, I should say, not biotic amp. I was going to say, that makes a lot more sense for tech abilities to be cooling down more quickly. Otherwise, the biotic amp, that would not make a lot of sense. But here is, in fact, similar story, just an upgraded version of the same type of amp for Caden. So in this case, he's getting, again, a slight cooldown bonus, so sure, I suppose. And in terms of armor here, we lose a bit of damage protection. 8% is something, for sure. Gain a little bit of shields. Mostly it's the tech biotic protection that you're gaining from switching over here. Is that worth doing? Oh, you do also, because it's a level 7 armor, get the additional slot for an upgrade. I think, especially for chest plates, that is worth doing. It's, perhaps not the best of color schemes for Caden. Perhaps not. But, you know, he'll just roll with it. We can, and our highest level stuff is either Energized Weave for shield recovery and hardening, so tankiness, shield recovery being the cooldown recovery time for shields after taking damage, and hardening being a combination of tech ability and biotic ability resistance. So maybe not the best thing to put on Caden, whereas kinetic buffer, a little bit of shields, a little bit of accuracy, a little bit of cooldown reduction, a little bit more offensively oriented given how it has that cooldown reduction. This may in fact be, I think there are some ones that give melee, are there ones that give melee damage or just resistance to melee damage? I don't remember. I might be mixing that up, but no, smash damage, yeah, like exoskeleton. So exoskeleton and kinetic buffer, perhaps some of the more offensively oriented armor upgrades, since cooldown reduction, of course, means he can use his tech and biotic abilities more frequently. So that perhaps makes some sense for Caden, more with him being a very power-based character. And, oh, did we even check Rex? I suppose we shall. But I don't think there's going to be much for you here, Rex. That is definitely not an improvement. So, Lids, why are you bothering all this stuff, you ask? Why are you bothering with all this? No, you're right. Focusing on our character's gear, perhaps not so relevant. Why is that? Well, you know, because that... Yeah, you might have guessed it. Oh, you might have guessed it. I may have just completely clicked on that. But yeah, it's getting a little framey here at the most inopportune moments. Right as I'm trying to charge up the cannon. And that's coming for us. Try to use this little area here as cover if we can. That was great if we could. Okay, oh, now we're up to these guys. Still don't really get them, if I'm being brutally honest. Did you pop up? No, not yet. I mean, if you get rid of all of them, which I did not succeed in doing, then I think Pressure Mod does just pop back up automatically. And he's chasing us. Oh, not seeing us. So that person. There we go. Thought that was the last one. Also, the Pressure Mod is directly on top of us. Perhaps that was just fortunate timing. That was poor aim on my part. Back to this phase. Oh, you are right next to us. So I think those things can damage us if we walk straight into them. They basically have a melee attack, if you will. Ooh, I missed that. So, yep, there it is. In fact, it did hit us there. Didn't really check to see what the damage was like. Missed that. Well, we'll just climb up this, because why not? Pressure Maw still going for us here. That was the last of those. So now Pressure Maw back up. Just trying to rock back. Well, I definitely missed on that cannon. Just trying to rock back and forth a bit. Really? like for you to be done, at least with your fancy schmancy spawn in whatever the other things are phase, but I believe that is the end of it. So yeah, that was why I was making the big deal about how, yeah, we should probably save. And, you know, the throwing additional equipment on and what have you, perhaps not so relevant unless you're actually thinking about fighting that Thresher Maw on foot, which, once you start getting to late game, you can actually consider doing, because your damage will eventually outpace that of the Mako. Now, so what was the actual marker on the map, you ask? The thing that we were seeing before? Because it's not showing up here. It still isn't showing up here. But, I mean, we're not seeing anything here, but if we hop into the Mako, it's basically right here-ish? Right here. Right on top of it. What is it? What is basically just the Thresher Maw nest. And usually those are hidden. Usually you just wouldn't see it at all. You wouldn't see it on your map, and you wouldn't see it on your mini-map. So I don't know if that's technically a mistake. And it just, you know, it's supposed to be hidden no matter what, and perhaps maybe there are markers for every Thresher Maw in existence in the game, and there's just something in the code that sort of overrides that and says, no, player never gets a chance to see this. And this one, for whatever reason, they just forgot to do that. But also, perhaps that's a little hint. Hey, you might need that. Those repair, or those meta-gels right there. Upgrade kit, Thresher rounds, also theoretically helpful if you were to try to fight the Thresher Maw on foot. Then we have this hardened crate, which is, in fact, hard to break through for sure. And we find means to do so. Oh, nearly. That looked like a good opportunity. Here we are, though. Okay, Stiletto. Ooh. Sokolov is Rosenkopf Materials, the manufacturer. That's a good one. As is Harpoon from Casa. Those are two of the second highest tier manufacturers, and by second highest, I mean the only thing better than them is the Spectre here. So that may be worth taking a quick look here. And given something to... I mean, Rex already, speaking of, I thought he had the Spectre shotgun, but maybe it was, no, it was the assault rifle we gave him that's from the Spectre gear. So yeah, he's actually, he's the same shotgun, but one level higher. Okay. Well, that is still something that might be interesting in putting on someone else in that case, someone who does still use shotguns. Which would mean, well, not us, not Caden. It is certainly an upgrade for him, but, you know, it's a weapon that he's perhaps never going to use, so doesn't really make much of a difference for him. But there is one of the hidden things in this area. The Thresher Maw nest and the loot that comes close by. So let's just take a look at our map here and make sure we're still heading in a reasonable direction. So our marker is very old at this point. Let's make sure that we're heading toward this bottom corner here. And once we've done that, then maybe we'll start looping around, go to this debris, and from there we can decide if we want to start heading inward to the actual facility, or if we want to just finish all of our exploration by going on the rest of our counterclockwise loop here. And once we've done that, maybe at that point we cut in and we finish on the anomaly and or research facility there. We're definitely to the research facility. Oh! What is this? That, I was going to say, I saw some red markers there. That looks like that is either the quest marker or that's the anomaly. So I think either way, we'll probably wait for that. So let's keep pushing in that case. And one Thresher Maw down. I would think we're probably good on that front. There's a non-zero chance. There are at least one, maybe two planets that have multiple Thresher Maws. I mean, again, we're talking about places that look suspicious from a Thresher Maw standpoint. It would be areas that are large and flat. Oftentimes, ones that are near areas that are very hilly, so there's a stark contrast, and this is not nearly as flat as the place where we just were. But it is still relatively flat. It has this sort of, this hill right in the middle that perhaps would suggest that it is far less likely for us to run into a similar foe in this situation. And this, I think, is probably just not big enough. At least not here. But then, once you start getting to something that looks like this, this is more so what a Thresher Maw area looks like, as we, of course, just saw. It's larger. It is more or less entirely flat. But doesn't appear to be anything here other than just this debris. So let's nav it. Is it at the top of this stuff? Because unfortunately, it looks like it may be. At the very least, fortunately, it appears as though we found a decent way up. It may be on the other side. Here it is. What do we have here? Crash probe. Let's check it out. Okay, like where we are now. Let's nav it. Exoskeleton 7 and fusion explosives. Okay. Then we were talking about, yeah, do we go all the way around here and finish our loop and then go back to the underground facility and anomaly, or do we go there first? I do definitely prefer, generally speaking, to finish on the big stuff. So I think, why don't we finish our exploration here and then we'll head over. Oh, and well, worthwhile. As we can now see, definitely signs of some minerals there. Let's just, before we head straight to that, make a point of checking out this corner here, just in case there's something hiding, before we get entirely distracted by those minerals there. But now we're starting to see the edge. Okay, so now let's start cutting north. And look at that. Did we just so happen? Oh no, I was gonna say, we've done it once or twice before, just coincidentally putting our marker right on top of invisible anomaly, or at least one that is hidden on our main map. This time, our marker is, well, it's quite a bit further up north. So false alarm there. Let's nab some beryllium. Okay. Consider it nabbed. So let's just continue a little bit further north here, and then we'll make our way back to the facility in question. Come on. Come on. You can do it. And at this point, what we found, is it 2 mineral deposits and 1 thresher nest? Which could theoretically be the last of the stuffs here. 3 special things. And that's right around the number we tend to see. Sometimes a little bit more than that, though. And as it turns out, that will be the case here as well. There is, in fact, another mineral deposit. So let's just make sure we've got the elevation to get there if necessary. Because, well, if we could... Oh, I wanted to ride the crest. Hold on. Should make it much easier to get up there. A little bit more. A little bit more. Then you start turning. There's a very thin little area you are trying to stay on, which is far easier said than done doing that when you're in the Mako. Okay, well, that's just not going to work. Do need to deviate a bit from the plan here. There we go. Come on. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Hold on. Hold on. Stay on an angle. Stay on an angle. We could also just kind of like go around here where we don't actually need to traverse that. Alright, it's close. And, I mean, as it turns out, we came close to nailing it with the marker there. Not quite right on the money. Okay, ooh, platinum. Don't mind if I do. There we are. Let's take that for sure. Okay, now I think we should definitely be in the clear to start heading inward toward our primary objective. So, I mean, I suppose we can mark that. So it's the combination of this anomaly and this underground facility. They're more or less next to each other. Suppose let's go for the anomaly first, though. And as we started to see, as we got a little bit close to those sections earlier, it appears as though there may be some enemies on the exterior of one of those bases. Couldn't really tell which one it was between the anomaly and the actual base. I imagine it's probably the base. That would at least seem to make some more intuitive sense. That's not the best thing to go over if we don't have to. Can we avoid it? That's a little better. And then if it's in this canyon, that would be awfully convenient. We didn't have to climb additional mountains to get there. Will we be lucky in that regard? Okay, well, there's definitely some stuff here. More so to the left is our main quest, then more so straight ahead / to the right. We have the anomaly that we have currently marked, so let's head for that. And what is it? What will we find here? The answer is a mummified Solarian. Well, that's kind of grim. Let's just run it over while we're at it real quick. Just make sure we get its head.
I'm on my way.
There we go. Nice, fine. We can still recover the artifact, right? ID tag recovered. This Cerberus soldier had an identification tag for Captain Varsinth, one of the Solarian soldiers responsible for capturing the League of One. It's unclear how he came into possession of this relic. That's a little strange. You're calling him a Cerberus soldier who had the ID tag of a Solarian. However, this is a mummified Solarian. So, you know, unless the Cerberus soldier also happens to be a Solarian, which, it's possible, but that's kind of not what you're suggesting there. It does seem like there's something a little bit off. But anyways, that was the anomaly. Now let's head over to the main quest section. Is this area that has the red markers next to it. So we're expecting some enemies here. My guess is they're going to be on, the exterior of this little base entryway. Oh, they have started to notice us. Let's blast that sniper to smithereens. Let's blast that sniper to smithereens. And we have leveled up in the process, so that's cool. Oh, wow. Look at our Mako health in the bottom left corner there. We did get hit by one of those snipers. They hit us hard. So let's maybe just get rid of the rest of them. That appears to be all of them. Your body's still frying from the cannon fire. Now let's just take a quick look around here, but I'm not seeing much. So I think we're probably heading in, and we'll just, you know, knock over the cover they were trying to use. Take that, Cerberus. That's what I think of you. Huh. Okay. And before we do hop in there, it is probably worth saving here. Oh, also, we did, of course, just level, and we did just nab some equipment. So let's take a look at that first, just in case we do find ourselves picking up something new and improved. Tons of stuff from the Armax Arsenal, which is, again, of that tier just below the Spectre stuff. And you're not ever going to get Spectre tier, or Spectre manufacturer materials, or Spectre manufacturer weapons and armor when it's just a random chest or random enemies dropping it. You're only going to get that stuff from merchants, so this is basically the best tier you can get from just random encounters. So, like in that, it's a couple of pistols, a sniper, then light Turian armor. Probably not going to be nearly as helpful to us, but take a look at those pistols. I think, speaking of Spectre stuff, we do have a Spectre pistol on for ourselves at the moment, although look at that. So the Brawler, although lower damage, and a fair bit lower damage, the accuracy is a little bit lower, not a huge downgrade, but look at that heatsink capacity. That is humongous. Humongous. So, Hayden's pistol is not as good as ours. So, yes, that means that this is absolutely preferable for him. So, let's throw this on. Well, he doesn't have... what? He doesn't have any upgrades? Not even ammo on his pistol? That seems strange. Sure, we'll throw on Incendiary or even Shredder, because it does seem as though, for the most part, Cerberus is focusing on sending humans after us rather than machines. Then again, we find ourselves looking for perhaps different weapon upgrades that are more enticing than just weapon stability. Sure, we can throw on a high-level combat scanner, yes, but is that really going to make a huge difference? I'm not sure it will. Maybe a little bit of both, I suppose. Okay, oh. Excuse me? Excuse me? Please also use the Shredder rounds. And please also use the stabilizer? Question mark? Okay, and I think otherwise we have more or less everything that we're going to want here. I think Rex is already more or less optimized, at least for stuff that he's actually going to use, weapon-wise. And as for us, yeah, probably similar story as well. Unless we want to focus on our tech cooldown bonus, which is actually, to tell you the truth, that might be preferable. I mean, the shields is not bad, because that just gives us additional defenses. 25 shields is not a huge amount. It's, as we were talking about when we were thinking about upgrading our electronics ability, it's basically the equivalent of 1 level worth of shields, because you get 30 shields per level you've invested in electronics. However, that's a lot of tech cooldown, so that's a pretty big difference. And then the med recharge bonus is, I mean, not a huge factor. We're not reviving people all that often, but might actually prefer this. Then when it comes to levels, speaking of which, we could, for one, another round of electronics to make up for the shields we just lost. Or alternatively, we get a little bit more time on the stasis. And I would like to see if we can push all the way to Master Stasis. That'd be great. Then Caden, you have 1 more point as well. And we're trying to get you up to higher electronics so you can get Master Overload. So you'll get tankier. Then Rex, we were trying to go Assault Rifles, pushing you to Master Overkill. So we'll get a little closer there. Now let's save before we head in. And now, let's see what kind of trouble we can get ourselves into. Okay, so let's take a look at our map here. And not so surprisingly, it looks like the same general layout as what we saw in the previous Cerberus facilities. In those previous Cerberus facilities, however, we actually only had access to this main room here, and then there were those blue barriers with some kind of contained enemy inside. This time, though, we actually see there's some quest-related thing in the ladder rooms here, and previously in the other facilities we were not even able to go back to these back rooms here. The door was completely locked, so that will be new. So, not entirely sure just how similar this will end up being to the facilities that we were just in. Might see that it differs a bit. Let's jump in here. And, is this area out here safe at least? There is a technician kit. Nab that. Oh, that is an Omni tool. I think that might even be the one that we just took off of Shepard. And it wasn't bad, per se. Yeah. It is 3 levels higher than the one that we just took off of Shepard. So, it still has better shields, better med recharge, and with a higher level, it got better from a tech cooldown bonus standpoint. That was the primary reason why we made this switch. Now, it's a little bit like the best of both worlds. I mean, it's still 10 tech cooldown bonus worse, which might still, I mean, in terms of total stats, it is better than the one that we have currently equipped, yes. It's just a matter of, you know, if we completely disregard med recharge bonus, which I'm tempted to do, and we prioritize tech cooldown bonus more than we prioritize shield bonus, then in that case, you could say that it perhaps is still better for the Chameleon tool just because it's better at tech cooldown. And if that is the thing we care most about, then yeah, I think we will stick with it. But we could potentially throw on Logic Arrest tool for Caden. And yeah, he's using the one that we currently have on Shepard. But in Caden's case, do we prioritize shields a little bit more? I mean, maybe. I suppose we'll keep this around. And I mean, it's a good Omni tool. It is definitely a good Omni tool. I'm just being selective in what I'm trying to prioritize with our Omni tools. So, yes, we do in fact see enemies in here. That is not terribly surprising, given how there were enemies outside guarding it. Let's see. For Rex, yeah, I'm thinking probably a shotgun situation. There's a lot of them. Okay. It also kind of looks like they're all just clustered around this door, waiting to immediately shotgun us all in the face as soon as we open this. So that's lovely. Hello? Anybody home? Anybody home? Yeah, so I think in that case what we want to do is we want to kind of kite them through here, use this as a choke point, maybe fall back through here, and make it so that we're more or less, or, I mean, not fighting them one at a time, but trying to minimize the effects of them outnumbering us. So let's maybe send out Rex to get their attention, because he is the tankiest. We could even throw on immunity, so he doesn't get hurt as much in the process.
Got it.
Rex.
Enemy contact.
Then retreat. Okay. So the idea here was just to bring the enemy to us, which we have now done. Cerberus Commando, okay. Let's stasis you. And shoot you. Preferably in the face if we can, although might not be able to get that big. Okay. One down. I kind of thought that, you know, more than one at a time would try to come after us after we got their attention, but the others do seem rather satisfied just staying where they are. Okay. Will you destroy me now? You don't say. You don't say. That was a little odd. But, you know, we'll take what we can get there. That's two relatively simple kills, but yeah, now they're starting to pursue much more aggressively. We stasis you. Try to get another simple kill here, which we do manage to do. If we're just trying to thin their numbers, right? Because they did appear to have a lot of people here, and we have seen those Cerberus enemies, they can be rather tough. So, just trying to even the odds a bit here. There are definitely more people here. Like, namely right there. That's a sniper. Currently in cover.
You must die.
I would love if, like, that sniper over there could not hit us, or that sniper. I just wanted to get your attention, get you out of cover, so we could say, like, stasis you again. And shoot you in the face. Rex, just, like, get out of the way while I take out this sniper. Like so. That'd be lovely. Thank you. Alright, Rex is trying to mess with, I think, this sniper. We might be getting flanked, though. There is a sniper here, too. Rex trying to shotgun this person from that range. Probably not going to be terribly effective. Rex, if you could just... Oh, Carnage, like, might be able to do something? Lifting them out of cover could work as well, but I'm just waiting to get stasis back. Oh, we could try lifting them. That's probably the play. You did not actually get lifted out of cover. That's not cool. Alright, let's stasis you, because you're actually out in the open here. Okay, they're down. This person is... got, what, like a knee poking out there? Can we hit them? Can we actually hit them? No, we're not dealing damage right now. That doesn't seem to be doing much. Is that... are they making moves? Alright, we're... oh! Hold up! While they're there, now we lift. And now they're defenseless. If someone could actually finish them off, that's great. Thank you. I say thank you, but it was us that did all the work. Alright, then I see you messing around down there. You're probably also a sniper. Let's sabotage you. Now, it looks like there's just two left. Yeah, one of them is a sniper. So, in theory, they can't outnumber... we actually have them outnumbered at the moment. Yeah, I'm not trying to stasis Rex. I'm trying to stasis this person. They're not going to attack this guy anymore, so we'll finish the job there. And last person is also a sniper. Let's just incapacitate you for the moment. And continue to incapacitate you. I believe they are already dead. Alright. So that's the last of them. And that is the benefit of having as much crowd control abilities, many crowd control abilities as we currently have, in addition to just being able to tactically isolate many of our opponents there, or at least certainly at the beginning we did. Just taking a look around to see if there's anything that we can loot in this room before we start heading into the other area of the facility. Not seeing too much right now, but there are certainly a lot of barriers and what have you. We examine. Doesn't seem as though any of them have goodies in them. In which case, let's head back to this area again. The other facilities did not have one of these rooms. This one does. And this is where the actual quest marker is. At the moment, not seeing any red marks. So no signs of enemies at the moment. But perhaps should still keep our guard up. This is the other room where we are not expecting to have the quest-related item, but seems like tons of loot here, so let's definitely check this out. Gotta break into these. So we've got lots of stuff lined up at the beginning there. Just wait for it to move, and suddenly... oh, that's a decent pistol. Okay. We have been picking up a lot of decent pistols as of late. So perhaps, you know, other type of weapons every now and again might not be a bad thing. And here we get an assault rifle from Casa, so that's good. Yeah, that could definitely be an upgrade for, I'd have to think, at least somebody. And then this one. Now we have another good pistol. I think that's the same one that we got a lot of recently. Or a good sniper rifle as well. Yeah, I like that. Then let's go here. And here, good shotgun. Okay, yeah, it's starting to work out. Piecing the pieces together. Medical kit, not super necessary right now, but let's see here. This looks like the same type of crates that we saw in the first set of facilities. It's going to be the same type of stuffs. Another amp. I think it is the same kind. Level 7 again, so same level. So I think for the most part, just a repeat of what we've already seen there. Tungsten rounds, incendiary rounds, sure. Okay. I think that's everything here. Just take a quick look, because there's certainly a lot in here. Does appear to be it, though. Did we get anything from just fighting all those enemies in that room previously, though? It seems as though we may have. Got another brawler. Anything else that catches our attention? Avalanche is a good shotgun, coming from our max, so yeah. It's starting to add up. Let's take a look at Rex. For your shotgun, it was... oh, we had yet a level 8 good manufacturer shotgun, so I think all the ones we were just thinking about are, yeah, level 7. So, still not going to be as good as what Rex is currently using. I mean, we're getting close to having enough weapons that we could start to throw on even good ones for people who aren't even trained on those weapons. Which we did a while back. We haven't done all that recently. Every once in a while, there might be situations when that's somewhat useful to do, so we can think about it at least. Alright, and here's what we're looking for. It's a terminal. Let's open it. You cautiously press a few buttons, and an alarm chimes. The optical database is flashing itself. Quickly, you copy as many files as you can to your hardsuit's internal computer. Its memory wiped. The computer shuts down. Files are sure to be encrypted, but you've got time to crack them. We'll archive the files, get a lot of experience and credits in the process, and then we can just mess around, opening and closing this terminal. But the deed here does appear to be done. Let's take a look. So UNC, is it Hades Dogs? Found a major Cerberus base and ended their sinister experiments in this cluster, avenging Admiral Kahoku's death and removing a danger that could have threatened the entire galaxy. Wow. So yeah, they were up to some kind of crazy experiments. What with the Rachni that they had, and I think in the previous quest, it was saying how, in theory, they might have even been trying to create a Rachni army, much like Saren. So certainly if they managed to pull that off, then that could have been very threatening. But if we did manage to stop those efforts, then that is certainly a good thing, I would think. So let's head on out. Whoa! Hello, Mako! Yeah, for a second there, it looked like perhaps Mako was going to decide to immediately crush us and perhaps kill us in the process, but alright, just, easy does it, girl. Let's hop back up to the Normandy. Okay, and so with that mission done, that means we are looking for something to do next, and main quest, next one on our list would be Pharos, but I don't think we want/need to do that just yet. Generally speaking, I think, we'll try to do, not necessarily all assignments before we do Pharos that we currently have, but at least many of them. I mean, a lot of these, as we're seeing here, valuable minerals, protein data disks, signs of battle, turn insignias are all things that are more passive, sorry writings, things that we'll find as we're going about looting areas, and less so actual locations where we go to complete a mission. So it's not quite as long a list as it might appear. We do have the UNC hostile takeover. Helena Blake, which was the person that we met on the Citadel who was affiliated with some kind of gangs, a high-ranking member of a criminal cartel, has asked you to eliminate 2 of her unpleasant compatriots. Their bases are located in the Han and Dis systems. After eliminating them, meet Miss Blake in the Fortuna system for a reward. So we've already found Helena Blake, of course. We've chatted with her to get that information, and she wants us to eliminate these crime lords. And so that could very well be next on our list. Alternatively, we learned about Doctor at Risk. I believe this was while we were on Noveria. Yeah, while on Noveria, you found a log listing an unauthorized transmission. Apparently, someone thinks a doctor located in the Newton system is in grave danger. Unfortunately, it appears the message was intercepted by Noveria security before it could be delivered. So yeah, I think either one of these, I mean, in theory, the hostile takeover, we're going to 2 different planets to take out 2 different crime lords, so that's perhaps a little bit more along the lines of what we just did with the series of Cerberus-based missions, where we actually initially learned about them when we found that missing survey team, and they'd gotten set up to get attacked by a pressure maw, then led to those 3 research facilities, where we saw what Cerberus was trying to do, and then just with that most recent mission, we took out their main base. So maybe we continue with something along those lines by trying to take out all these crime lords. So let's see, they're the Han and Dis system. Han and Dis system. Wait, of what cluster, though, is my question? Gemini Sigma. Okay, Gemini Sigma. I think we head over there. Although, actually, before we do, we're talking about how we picked up a ton of items from the previous 2 missions that we just did. Seemingly, there were loot crates just growing on trees